first of all, let me just make sure I thank you guys for being here. Obviously, the All-Star break is traditionally a spot where, you're getting a little bit of break from the grind of the season. And so to both our internal and external media, those who are following along here, just really appreciate you guys spending the day with us. And then secondly, who I want to just thank is our entire group. Look, I'm the one who's up in front of here. I'm the one who's announcing the pick and pulling the magnet and talking about our draft selection, but really it's just an enormous machine of a group who pulls this thing together. You go to our area scouts, our regional cross-checkers, our national cross-checkers. You have our group in baseball development, all of our front office. You have our medical staff, and you have our player development group all weighing in on the magnets we're about to pick and the one that we did. And so I just want to thank them for their work that led to our first round selection. And now Chase Davis, look, his arc was something that we've been following since high school. In the pandemic shortened season of 2020, the summer before, he had a tremendous showcase circuit with someone that we really liked, but you can't draft everyone you like, and so we kept on following his arc. He goes to University of Arizona, and his freshman year has limited playing time, contending with a veteran team who winds up going to the College World Series. And so a testament to him, he stuck it out. He goes to his sophomore year, and really starts trending after his sophomore year. Goes to the Cape and really begins to explode. And then you look at his banner junior year. The statistics there are all to see. Tremendous power, increased his plate discipline, showed an ability to move very well in the outfield, and someone we think can play multiple positions. And independent of that and his actual playing statistics, when you reach out to his network and try to get to know someone as much as possible without being in a dugout with them, almost unanimously, they rave about Chase Davis as a person, and they remark of his growth and his maturity, his love of the game, and his tremendous work ethic. And I'm so confident that he'll do everything in his power to be the best player possible. And after speaking to him, to hear him say, man, I can't wait to get to work, was something that I was beyond pleased to hear, and we're thrilled to have him in our organization. That's it.
Can you describe his swing and his offensive prowess at this point in his life?
Yeah, look, I've heard others remark of his swing and do side by side of a former teammate of mine, Carlos Gonzalez. When you put them side to side, the swing looks like that. It's a pretty swing when he's timed up. As a player, he's someone who has progressed. In a perfect world, analytically and in scouting eyes, you want consistency. And when someone doesn't play their freshman year, you start wondering, about what their arc's going to be. But Chase has just continued to improve. He's very diligent. He's a student of the game. And those who remark about him say that the results were guaranteed to happen given his talent and the work he put into improving.
Randy, when you're picking a guy like this, how important is it to study the whole arc and not just focus on 1 year?
Yes, it's tricky, right? Anybody in a silo at a certain point of time can be compared to a ton of different players, and that's, I think, why we spend so much time having these meetings. That's why we're so in step with our analytics department, trying to find the signal that where we select. Again, we're not drafting in the top 5 picks. Where we select, you have to be open to risk, and so when it came to this position, we were willing to make that bet with confidence.
With his swing and miss rate, it seemed like it kind of cut down after his freshman year. How much did that kind of influence on him rising up your guys' board?
I think anytime you see someone who improves their plate discipline and their swing decisions, you couple that with athleticism, left-handed, and exit velos that are in the upper echelon in college baseball, it bodes well.
He has done some work with Cardinals. Was he one of the guys that you reached out to?
No, I did not. Others, though.
So anybody else in the staff?
Not that I'd mention.
What did you guys learn from him and being able to see him make those changes to cut down on swing and miss? Was there anything mechanical you guys noticed over time?
Well, I think that you'll see that he did make some adjustments to his batting stance. If you guys get to talk with him, he would probably better describe in more granular detail with a little bit more conviction other than us who get him at different moments in time. But we did notice that it looked like he put himself in a position where he could see the ball a little bit better. And sometimes, in the modern game with modern curriculum and modern coaching, the tools available, finding that thing that can unlock you to give you that split second extra in order to recognize the pitch and make an aggressive pass. Now, make no mistake, Chase Davis takes aggressive passes at the ball. And so any little bit that he can gain in recognition is going to set his game off, and that looks like that will happen this year.
And Brady, so his throwing arm is really highly rated. Do you see him as a corner outfielder or center field, or is that still up
You know,
there?
I'll take it from Gary here that we would never, dictate now where he winds up when he gets to St. Louis. That being said, yes, he does have the arm for multiple spots in the outfield. University of Arizona plays very deep to left field, and from what we gathered, he played left field because it plays so deep instead of a traditional right field. But he was someone that we would like for Gary to have flexibility with, and he come to the conclusion of where he starts his career.
As far as the speed and range on defense, what's that? How would you be able to describe just kind of where he's at right now?
I would say that he's improved tremendously. He's not a particularly fast, very fast runner, but he has good reads. He's a baseball player out there.
How many times did you get to see him play in person?
I don't like answering those. I think you asked me those several times. I think I'm pretty consistent on saying no, because I think that as a scouting director, I'm only the face here, and how often I see or how much video I watch or how many times in person is not something that I cling to when deciding where we're at on a player. It's really our group, and I'm proud of the work that our group did into getting conviction in their looks.
Did not having the second round pick change your strategy at all around him?
No, it didn't.
And how creative do you guys have to get? Like you said, you don't get a top 10 pick ever around here. You don't get a top 15 pick, not since 2008.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you have to go find that guy that maybe is a little below the surface?
I think obviously he's a first rounder, so I want to make respect of this. This is a first rounder, and so it's not someone that we went and found and no one else knew about. But I think it's being open to the work that goes into being ready for any situation. I do think that he had a chance to go higher than his selection. I don't know, and I'm not privy to the discussions of other draft rooms, but I am fairly certain that he had at least some interest in third-party publications above our pick. And so it's just being ready for all the scenarios and feeling convicted if one of the scenarios is a pick like this.
What's the timetable? I mean, what will he do next? Will we come here, and then where we will send him?
No, great question. And so that's TBD, right? Obviously, we have no more short season clubs, as we all aware of. And so a lot of that depends on what our performance and player dev assesses as his readiness. They did go late into the postseason, but it's not like as if he had a game yesterday. So a bit of that will just come after he takes a physical to determine his readiness for action.
Chase, just like this player profile at University of Arizona, so he majored in Spanish, is bilingual.
Mm-hmm.
What else have you been able to learn about just kind of who he is and just the type of person Chase Davis is outside of
You know what? I think when you get a chance to talk to him, you'll realize that he's very engaging, that he has charisma, that he loves baseball, that he's faced adversity, and he's kind of found himself and some of the keys that help him get through that. And he plays with a joy. Those who have played against him have mentioned that for someone who is as good as he is, he plays with a humility also that's very respectful of the opposition, while also, make no mistake, when you see him play, you see a man who's very confident when he's in the batter's box.
How important are those aspects of just kind of that makeup and that personality for you guys, just when you're looking at players?
I think everybody in the industry is chasing that holy grail of figuring out what makeup is and what makeup works and what doesn't. But I've said this before, and I think that even our own children, evolve over time. And so sometimes it's just being open to the various outcomes of someone's makeup and character and knowing that they have a place to start where they can change. In Chase's case, I think there's several kind of markers, life markers, that you realize he's faced adversity, he knows what adversity is, and he's come through it. And he has an awareness, it seems, of what it takes to get his game right and to make others around him better as well.
And you guys did really well in the 2020 draft. You took 4 high schoolers in the 5 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Was he in consideration? How closely what do you remember about him in 2020 when he was coming out of high school?
Well, I do remember that, as a strategy, one of the things we wanted to be ready for was if the industry kind of shied away from the high school base. And he was one of those players that we had tagged. That being said, you can't draft all of them. And so we were excited to see his progression at U of A.
You talk about facing adversity. Was that just in baseball-wise or something personal?
Look, I think that he could speak of what he feels has brought him to today. I know that when you don't play, that's not fun. Makes you doubt whether or not you're ready for this level. And then you have a coach, transfer and take another job. When your first few stabs at the next level, I would imagine there's doubt. And for him to come out of that and really trend the way he has is something that we were really glad to see.
Saw that he's from Elk Grove, California. Is there any connection there with Dylan? Do you know?
I think that they know each other. I do think they know each other and might have hit together, but I don't know if it's like a daily workout partner type thing.
And how would Randy Flores, the pitcher, pitch to him?
Well, it would have been just like I did when I was a Cardinal. He's left-handed. I would have thrown 4 sliders halfway to home plate and hope he swung at 3 of them.